back with another plan with me. And this week we're going to do something a little bit different because I am so excited for this plan with me. I'm actually going to jump ahead several weeks to the current week because we are going to be doing the Wicked plan with me. And I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this for so long, longer than I probably even realized. And I am just so excited. I actually just got home from watching Wicked. So at the time that I'm recording this, it is November 22nd, Friday night, and I have just seen Wicked, and boy, do I have thoughts. But first things first, of course, we are going to be using the Wicked themed kit from my Etsy planner shop, and this one is called Wickedly Popular. So if you do not already have a Wicked theme kit and you are looking for one to use for this week or for whenever you are going to see Wicked yourself, definitely check out my Etsy shop below. And before I get into it with all of my thoughts on the Wicked movie, I just want to be very clear. I am not going to be spoiling anything. If you are not familiar with the story, I will not be giving away any details. I am just going to give my thoughts and opinions on how the movie was and everything like that. So I will not be spoiling anything. I will keep things pretty vague so to not ruin anything for you. Okay, so where do I even begin? This is all of my thoughts right now in the moment as I have just got home and it's still sinking in and still processing. And honestly, the first thing I would say is that I wouldn't change a single thing about this movie. I wouldn't change a single decision. There was nothing in this movie that I was not just thoroughly impressed with, overwhelmed with, mind blown with. And I'm not trying to overhype this movie, but just a little bit of background on me and my experience with Wicked. I fell in love with Wicked in 2009. I was in 9th grade and I was even pretty far behind the Wicked craze as it debuted in 2003. So I have loved this musical for 15 years. And of course, that's not even as long as I could have loved it. And so for the last 15 years, I have been waiting patiently for someone to do a Wicked movie adaptation. And there is not a single thing I would change about this movie. And also I saw a lot of people questioning on some of my other Wicked content whether the movie was appropriate for children to see. And surprisingly, there were a lot of people in my comment section that said, I don't think it's going to be kid friendly. It talks about a lot of adult topics. And while I say, yes, definitely the book of Wicked absolutely is not for children at all, but the movie itself, there is absolutely no reason why I think a child couldn't watch that movie. It rated PG. It was very family friendly. Of course, there are some more mature themes like racism. I think it's perfectly appropriate. So if anyone was wondering if this is a family friendly type of movie, I don't see any problem with children going to see it. I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, when Ariana Grande was first announced as Glinda, I was kind of like, really? I just can't see it. And there were definitely so many other actresses that in my mind I thought fit Glinda better than Ariana Grande, but I'm here to just take everything back that I've ever thought of whether Ariana could be Glinda or not, because she did an amazing job. And whether she's the perfect person for that or not in your mind, there is no denying that she just absolutely did an amazing job in this movie. I mean, vocal wise, acting, she has an amazing kind of comedic timing, and I think that really shined through in this movie. For every naysaying thought I might have had about her before, I completely take it all back because I was really impressed with her performance in this movie. And I'm going to leave all personal feelings aside as far as real world stuff. We're only going to be talking about the movie. And Cynthia Erivo, oh my God, I was just blown away. I knew how beautiful Cynthia Erivo's voice is, but she just has one of those voices that to me is truly one of the most beautiful voices in the world. And that's not taking anything away from Ariana Grande because her voice is absolutely beautiful as well. But there's just something about Cynthia's voice that kind of just makes my soul feel healed a little bit. And I feel like there is no better person to play Elphaba than Cynthia Erivo. I feel like she nailed that role was made for her. She told the story so beautifully, loved every bit of it, and I feel like the story is just I'm just speechless, honestly. I really can't imagine two other women coming together to do this role to the justice that they did. And of course, in a million other parallel universes, I'm sure there are wonderful actresses who did amazing, but there really was a true on-screen chemistry between Ariana and Cynthia, and that's something you can't really fake. And it felt so beautiful and genuine, and oh my God, I love this story so, so much. Another thing that just blew me away, I knew it would blow me away, but I didn't know to the extent, was just the costuming. Oh my gosh, like it didn't matter if you were like the most extra background character of anything ever. Like no character's costume was not on point, and it was so beautiful to see the diversity of the cast as well. Oh my gosh, it was just so interesting to see so many different people, and like not a single person looked the same as another person. So that was another thing that I really thoroughly enjoyed, was the beautiful diversity of all the supporting cast and background actors, and every actor that was on that set was just, I loved it so much. There was also a beautiful variety and diversity of gender expression and ableism and race and ethnicity and skin color, and I mean everything you can think of. They really just did an amazing job, and honestly, it did not feel like it was trying too hard. Like it just felt really natural in my opinion. The sets too, like the world building, oh my gosh. Shiz University, never in my million years could I have ever imagined the beautiful location and scenery and set design and CGI and everything that came to create all of these locations were stunning. I couldn't have imagined a more beautiful Shiz University. The Emerald City as well. Oh my gosh, like everything you think it's going to be 10 times bigger and more beautiful and more extravagant and more everything you can imagine. I was just so not prepared for how beautiful everything was. And it just honestly took my breath away at some point. The flowers, even, like just the world building, the architecture, the every little aspect of it was so cool. The Shiz library, oh my gosh, don't even get me started on that. Just absolutely a plus plus. And I found myself catching like these little Easter eggs that were kind of hidden throughout the movie. And every time I picked up on one, I would just kind of squeal with excitement inside. And I really loved that kind of aspect of watching the movie. And speaking of, I was a little bit worried of what the actual movie theater atmosphere would be like, because a lot of people have joked about like movie theater etiquette. If I'm watching this movie, I better not hear somebody singing along to the music out loud. And oh my gosh, I am so very pleased to say that everybody in my theater at my showing behaved themselves, which I was a little bit worried at first, because there were definitely some, I will say, boisterous audience members in my theater at the very beginning, and I was worried I was going to have to listen to someone sing over Defying Gravity, and I'm very pleased that that was not the case in my theaters. Do not hum the songs, do not sing the songs. You may mouth the words silently at most, so just everybody be on your best behavior. And I actually went and saw the movie with my mom and my stepdad, and they are not very familiar with the story at all. So it was really exciting for them to kind of experience it all kind of for the most part on a blank slate. And especially for me, I know Wicked like forward and backwards, and I love it so much. Even being an extremely experienced knower of Wicked, it was truly a beautiful experience, and I was just sitting there like with my jaw open like 90% of the movie. I almost teared up like 97% of the movie, like the opening scene, like I was already feeling the waterworks going, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so how am I already feeling so emotional? And I feel like if you don't get it, you just don't get it. But this story is one of the most beautiful stories I have ever heard. And it's one that I just love on such a true, deep level. I can't think of a more beautiful story. There's very few stories in my life and my world from fictional things that have truly moved me to the level that this one has. It's just one of the most beautiful stories of overcoming being different, colorism, racism, standing up for what's right, standing up for yourself and what you believe in. And it's a beautiful story of love and heartbreak and friendship and everything in between that just makes up the building blocks of life. I'm so glad to have gotten to watch this movie, and I am absolutely going to be going again to the theater. I'm going to take my boyfriend on this next trip because he will really love this movie, and I'm just dying to see it again because I don't know how I'm going to be able to wait a whole nother year for the part 2, and I'm going to be patiently waiting to see just how everything unfolds. Of course, I know the story, but just to see it on screen. And there's not many movies or films or anything, in my opinion, that you absolutely must see in theater. To be completely honest, I'm not someone who goes to movies often, and if I do catch a movie, 99% of the time I'm watching it at home on my TV. But this is truly one of those movies that even if you're not a movie person, like a movie theater person, there was something so magical about getting to watch it on the big screen in a room of people that love this movie just as much as you do. And honestly, I would not have it any other way. I don't say this lightly, but if you can go and see it in theaters, I don't think you would regret it at all. Maybe I'm still on the high of coming off of this movie, but honestly, there's nothing that I would change about it. I think that every person that had a hand in making this movie should be extremely proud of themselves because it's truly a beautiful work of art. And there were so many kind of like tearjerker kind of moments for me that was kind of expected, but also not expected. And I will just leave that where it is. And that is pretty much my glowing review of Wicked Part 1. Oh, and one little thing I wanted to mention. So the Wicked typeface that they were using on all the promotional videos and posters and everything. I was so shocked whenever I saw the title sequence. Whenever they had the title was such a cool, very tiny, unexpected little twist I had not expected at all, and I thought that was really beautiful. So, all right, guys, so that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.